Hello there and welcome to another episode of the interview. Today I have a special guest that will be talking about, a lot of things. And so I can promise you as usual that this is going to be another interesting episode of this conversation. I will be introducing my guest shortly. I always encourage you as I always do to participate, to contribute meaningfully to the discussion at any time. You can comment, you can like this video, you can also, share it so that people are going to benefit. I can promise you that my guest today is a very interesting person, and you will shortly hear from him. He's already standing by. So we have tested everything. Everything is working well. So go ahead and anywhere you're watching this from, just let me know. Just say, I am watching this from so and so place, and I will be encouraged by that. So let me go ahead and bring in my guest so that we will have this conversation together. Hello, Tim Maiyaki. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for having me.
Am I echoing in any way? Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can hear
Okay.
you. I'm okay. I'm fine.
All right. Awesome. So today I'm delighted to have my dear brother and friend, Tim Maiyaki. I'll go ahead and introduce him. And without further ado, we'll go on with our conversation for today on this episode of the interview. Today, I'm privileged to have Tim Maiyaki. Tim is a serial entrepreneur. He is engaged in social entrepreneurship to increase knowledge on entrepreneurship for self-empowerment, wealth creation, and poverty eradication. He is a small business MSME enthusiast, trainer, public speaker, farmer, and a single father. Tim holds seminars on entrepreneurship, startups, and SMEs, development, and growth. Tim also hosts or anchors a 1 hour live interactive radio talk show on entrepreneurship and business known as Entrepreneurship Clinic on Salama Radio 98.1 FM, Kaduna State in Nigeria. Tim is also a mentor to small business owners. Tim is also a sought-after speaker who speaks at several events, seminars, and fora. Tim holds a Bachelor of Technology in Estate Management from the Federal University of Technology, Minna, Niger State in Nigeria. He also has an advanced diploma in innovation and entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship finance from Kaduna Business School, and is currently pursuing a postgraduate diploma in entrepreneurship studies from the Kaduna State University in Kaduna State, Nigeria. Tim has recently enrolled for the National Business Development Service Providers Licensing Program, which is run by the Small and Medium Enterprises Agency of Nigeria, also known as SMEDAN, and the Kaduna Business School, Kaduna. Tim, you're welcome to the interview.
Thank you for having me on the interview platform.
Yeah, it's my delight. It's my delight that you're able to make it for this. For viewers that know you, people will be interested to know. In the art, when I posted this, I kind of mentioned that you have recently, gone through adversity. You have recently experienced great adversities, which are difficult for anyone to describe apart from you. Will you mind sharing what those adversities were?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Seth. First of all, I really would want to appreciate the opportunity and the platform, the interview for having me. It's actually an opportunity. It's actually a privilege, and it's an honor for me to be here. I consider myself, or count myself, lucky to be here. and I wouldn't trade this for anything out there. Now, having said this, I talking about my adversities and things I've gone through in my life, particularly lately. I I actually have gone through a lot. Probably this few days has been more pronounced, and people got to know more because I'm actually the kind of person that don't share my worries and my adversities. I actually try to conceal my pains. I go through a lot of pains, but I try to conceal them. But these ones were so pronounced. People actually took it out of proportion. If I will use the word, permit me to use it out of proportion, because it's actually a painful thing. Now, what did I go through in a nutshell? I in quick succession, like 2 months interval, I lost my dad, and sometime in July. Then my wife took ill, a pregnant wife took ill. She was carrying my third son, my third child, who is a boy, and I previously had two girls, two daughters, and she was actually pregnant with a boy, and she was going to have him this month, next month, that's December. Now she took ill too, just immediately after my dad left, and 2 months later, that was September 2020, she died. And she didn't just die. They had to. She had actually had to have a cesarean section where they had to evacuate the child who was already 7 months old, and he was okay. Due to complications, they had to kind of terminate the baby and do it with him, despite the fact that he's fine. But they needed to save her life. He didn't make it. Eventually, she didn't even make it as well. After having so many blood transfusions, she lost her life. She went. Um, Prior to this, the COVID 19 lockdown and all of that has actually been a problem from March. It started, the toll this year has actually, adversities have actually taken a toll on my life this year from like February, March, when I already had public speaking engagements in Port Harcourt, in Lagos, and Kaduna. They were going to pay me good money, and I lost them due to the COVID-19 lockdown. The pandemic actually got me locked down. So I lost all those opportunities. And while I was nursing those wounds, then the issue of my dad came in, then my wife too, and then here I am now. It's a pain I can't imagine. It's unimaginable. I used to actually tell people, like, I understand how you feel. And when people lose their loved ones and they are bereaved, I go and condolences. I say, okay, I understand how you feel. I feel your pains. I'm condoling you. But I just realized, no, it's not true. You don't know how people feel. People know exactly how they feel. Right now, as I'm talking to you, 30 minutes ago, somehow I was going through my laptop. I got to a folder that my wife actually opened herself. I saw some of her pictures and some of her videos. In the past 30 minutes, I was actually crying. I just had to put myself together. I wish I could call you and tell you, look, I can't go on with this interview because I was already heartbroken already. But somehow I'm here, and I'm glad that I'm here, and I'm here with you. So it's this is just about the tip of the iceberg of what I've been through, because it's more or less like the crescendo of much of what I've actually the pains I've actually gone through this year.
Just as you said, we had this conversation with you. It's unimaginable. No one can describe, the pain. I can't imagine that. I can't imagine that, and I can't pretend to understand what you have gone through. I want us to talk a little bit more about that. How have you been coping? People may want to know, how have you been coping? You just described, this experience a few minutes ago before this interview. How have you been holding on? Because I, for one, or people out there that see you and trying to, pick up the pieces and being, going back to the things you have been doing. Some people may feel, wow, this guy is he's a strong man. How have you been coping?
Well, talking about coping, um, First of all, when I lost my dad and my mom and my wife, yeah, even my mom, I can as well call her my mom because she was. Um, you see, I lost my dad because I lost my dad. He was one strong pillar in my life, and he was my point man. By point man, I mean he was my go-to person. And till my dad left this world, as old as I am, I'm 40. Uh, I fear my father like no one else. If you want to cage me, threaten me with my dad doesn't beat me at my age, he doesn't spank me or anything like that. But then, if you want to threaten me, if you want to put me in track, you want to really get my attention, tell me you're going to treating me with my dad that you're going to report me to my dad suddenly. So he was my point man, and he was my go-to person. He was a source of inspiration. He was a source of wisdom. I don't know, probably because he's my dad. Sometimes I wish he's another person. I could say this, but I don't think I've ever seen any man that is so wise, so humble,
Mm.
so kind, so sincere with his kids, with everyone. You can go around town and ask, do you have problem with this man? Everybody will tell you, no, we don't have a problem with him. He's a kind person. My
I
father
can
fixes
testify
my
to that. I knew him personally. I can
yeah.
testify to that.
All right. My father fixes my bath water. He washes my car,
Mm.
and I
Mm.
have to tell him, stop. I don't want you to do this to me. He's like, can you just go and face other things? I have free time. I can do that. Now, I'm trying to just lay a background for you to understand the kind of person I just lost. Now, he's someone that is very sincere. He wouldn't never cheat you, not even his son or his child. So I lost this man, and he was my wife's best friend. My wife confided in him. She actually uses him to threaten me anytime I go out of way and I'm trying to make her feel bad. She threatens me with him. Like by what I mean is that she tries to get me to do what she wants me to do by telling me she's going to report me to my dad. So I behave when she threatens to take my case to my dad. So they had a link, they had a connection with my dad. They had a very powerful relationship with my dad. She talked things behind my back with my dad. They fixed things up behind my back, which obviously is a good thing. And so they had a relationship. So my dad went, a vacuum was there. I was just trying to fill up that vacuum and the gap. Then my wife left. Now, these are two most important people in my life. I'm not the kind of person that keep friends. I don't have rich your friends around. My best friend was my wife. My best confidant was my wife. My best advisor was my wife, often my dad. These are the two people that I have. So losing these two most important people, I'm not saying any other person around me is not important, but this is about the two most important people that I go to at any point in time. So losing these two people was a big hit on me. It rattled the whole of my system. It broke me down. For 2 weeks after my wife left, I couldn't I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep for the first 1 week. I never slept. I stayed awake 24/7, 24 hours for 7 days, like that. So I I got to a point. I don't know. God has a way of doing things, because at a point, I actually didn't want to tell myself that it's true. These people are gone. She's gone. Not until I accepted the fact that, look, she's gone and gone for good. That was when I realized, look, you have to start dealing with it. I have to have handling this. And then I went into to prayers. I submitted everything to my God. I said, God, you did this, and this thing you did is the best thing that can ever happen to my life. How how strange it is, I guess. Yeah, people will think, okay, this is not the best thing. But for me, I told God, I said, this is the best thing you've done to me. You've taken my dad, you've taken my wife. So tell me, show me that thing you have for me. I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I so much love God. I have so much faith in God. And I said, God, so tell me what's the deal now. You've done this. I know you have a purpose. So what's the deal? And that exactly is what is keeping me true. And that exactly is what is holding me and making me feel, okay, I have more purpose, because somehow God told me, young man, you have something I want you to do. And there's more you can do.
Yeah. just as I said earlier, it's difficult to imagine what you're going through, and you are a very dedicated person, a spiritual person. It's good to know that you derive your courage, though it's still hard, it's still difficult, but you have courage and comfort and consolation from the Lord. I still talking about this. What have you been learning, if anything, for the past couple of months?
Um, I have learned quite a lot. You know, life has taught me so much. Prior to this moment, I've learned so much about life, that life is just this, like a
Hmm,
blink.
hmm,
It's just like a snap of a finger. It doesn't matter how long you live, even if you live for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 100 years. It's just like this. So whatever it is you have to
hmm,
do it to the best of your abilities. Now, let me quickly share something. My wife died on on a Tuesday, or rather on a Wednesday morning. First early hours of a Wednesday morning. I I saw her. We had a good conversation on a Monday evening. Not quite a good conversation. We had a fight with my wife the last day I saw her before she was taken to the hospital and she was operated upon and she eventually died. She and I had a fight. Actually, we had a real fight. I was angry with her, she was angry with me. But 30 minutes later, I had already called her. I was like, hey, baby, do I get my package? And the package is forgiveness. And she's like, yes, you have it. Now,
hmm,
we've had to continually teach ourselves this, that, sweetheart, the next 30 minutes nobody knows. No matter
hmm,
how much I hurt you, forgive me. And no matter how much you hurt me, I'm going to be forgiving you. So we have this culture and this, we have Christian, we just cultured ourselves into this attitude of forgiving ourselves. So when it was time for her to leave, hours before she left, we had a fight, but we had already settled because it's already there. I wish I had screenshot some of the charts. I would have shared them on Facebook, right here, so that everyone can see. Few hours before she was taken to the hospital where she was operated upon, where she couldn't do anything for herself. We had already sorted ourselves out, and she was happy. I was happy, and I was telling her, "I'm missing you. I can't wait to come back home and see you." Because it's like that. It works for us. We've been working like that. Now, why am I emphasizing on this? I'm emphasizing on this, that in life, never hold grudges beyond few minutes. Get angry. You have all the right to get angry. Get upset. But forgive. Forget. Ask for forgiveness. Grant this forgiveness. God is forgiving. So forgive. Because you can never tell the next minute. If anybody told me my wife is going to leave that day, I would say no. In fact, I've actually been preparing her for my departure because I always believed somehow, ironically, that I was going to be the first person to leave, not her. So I keep arranging her, I keep planning, I keep working, I keep empowering her, giving her all the things, the tools she needs to survive when I'm not there. Unfortunately, it's the other way around. Now she's gone. I'm the one that have to now live with those tools that I have been trying to provide for her. So life is not what you think. Life cannot be predicted. It's only God that knows what happens tomorrow. So forgive, forgive. That is that's the most critical thing. Forgive. Let these grudges go. Let these malice go. Don't hold grudges because you
hmm.
cannot guarantee tomorrow. Tomorrow is not yours to take. Tomorrow is not yours to give. So all this while, I've been learning that pain is good. It is. Pain is good. It's good for your soul. It's good for your well-being. If you do not experience pain, you will not even value the place of God in your life.
You kind of
Pain.
preempted, sorry to interject, you kind of preempted my next question, because I know this is a little bit premature to ask. One of the
Uh,
questions I have written down is, will you say there is any value in pain or adversity? And you kind of preempted that, and talk to me a little bit about that, because on the one hand, there are people that seem to say that, we should pain is like adversity is something we should crave for, because without adversity, we are not going to, get this particular thing, get to the other side. But we know that pain is painful. We know that adversity is not something that anyone can wish for anyone. So talk to me a little bit about this dynamic. You have already started saying that. How is pain of value in any way?
You see, life is beautiful for two reasons. One, life is beautiful because there is a good side of it. There's a sweet side of life. Life is also beautiful because there's a painful or bitter part of it. Now, if you must live life, you have to accept the both sides of it. And the balance is not for you to decide. The balance is for God to decide, especially if you believe there's a God and you submit everything to God. Now, why am I saying there's beauty in pain? There's beauty in joy and happiness, in smiles and laughter and merriment. But there's beauty in pains, because pain brings you back to realizing that there is a God who gives everything that you have. And how do I mean there's joy in pain? Uh, it brings you to this realization that you are limited. Yes, you are a limited person. You are a limited being. You are a limited soul. There is limit to what you can do. There's limit to who you are. There's limit to what you can ever be. That's what pain tells you. But when you are marrying, you are in when things are working out fine, you tend to not remember that there's limit to who you are or what you can have. I have had my good moments. I have had my beautiful times. When my wife was here, let me take you back to my wife. When my wife was here, it was wonderful. We had wonderful time. We had good times, and I was happy with her. I never saw that it's going to end with her. I told you earlier that I saw myself living before her. So I am not the one to experience the end of beautiful moments. All right. Now, she might be the one to experience it. However, she takes it, well, that's that. But it so happens that I have seen the end of the good times. Now I'm facing the bad times. Bad times because she's not there. It's painful. But the good thing I'm learning is that there is limit to what I can do. Remember, I said I was preparing her for widowhood. I told her I'm preparing you when I'm gone. This is how you're going to carry on as a widow. Now she's not even the widow. She's gone. I'm the widower. So there's a limit to what I think, and there's a limit to what you think, and every other person out there think. There's a limit to what you can do. So pain brings you back to status quo, to your default setting, that you're just nothing but a human being, and there's a limit to everything and anything you can do. And that's
Yeah,
about it. So pain gives you the start. Yeah.
Yeah. My brother, we keep praying with you, and I believe our viewers too. Please, if you can put in the comments, if you want to just say some words of consolation and comfort and encouragement or inspiration that you are getting from our team for the courage. For me, I don't know how to even describe this, for you having the courage to pick up the pieces of your life. Just, I know, of course, grief is something that is in stages, right? It's I don't want to go into those psychological descriptions of grief. I have experienced some griefs myself, but I have never experienced it this close, say, wife or parent. So I want people that are watching this, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, even if it is just to encourage our brother, please do so. You can put that in the comments, even as this discussion progresses. I can see Guanzang Bitiong saying, I just love Tim Maiyaki. The guy is an epitome of goodwill. I can actually testify to that he is actually an epitome of goodwill. So keep the comments coming. Even as we interact, I can also see um, Ene Cynthia Ogbe saying there's a limit to what you can do. Pen brings you to status quo, that we are just human. This is profound. Thank you, Tim, for sharing. Thank you also, Ene, for those comments. Do you want to respond to any of these comments?
Yeah, I think Guanzon, thank you very much. I thank you for the love. I don't know, goodwill. This is God. I give glory to God for everything. And then for NA, there is a limit to what you can do. Yeah, truly, there's a limit to what we can do, and we just can't surpass the limit that God has placed in us, and that is why He's God, and we are humans. He's there, and we're here. So, thank you for that. This is profound as well. Thank you. I love you.
All right. Thank you so much. Please, if you are watching this, this is the interview with Tim Maiyaki. We still have a lot of things to talk about, but because, he has recently experienced adversity, I thought it would be good, to just start by talking about that. And I believe from these few minutes we have already spent, a lot of people have already learned a lot. I can see Bashike. Bashike is saying, in all we do, allow God to be the center. Thank you so much, Bashike, for that comment. Thank you. So I want us to kind of switch gears to talk about entrepreneurship. You are an entrepreneur. You are somebody that can be described that as a person that entrepreneurship runs in their blood. You are one of the few young entrepreneurs in Southern Kaduna that I know. How did the entrepreneurial, journey begin? How did you come about that? Was it an accident? How did you come about that?
Okay. All right. Let me just put it this way. I got bitten by the entrepreneurship bug a long time ago. I've actually always had this nag. Okay. Now, when I was young, when I was far younger, I used to steal. I used to steal from my dad. I used to steal cobbles and I know 10 naira,
Really?
20 naira. Yeah, I used to steal a lot. I was a thief. I was a thief when I was a kid. Now, not until my dad beat the demons out of me and tied me to a dining table and called my friends that I used to steal money and share with to laugh and dance, thief, and I stopped. Now, I love to spend money. One thing I love to do is to spend money. So quickly, my dad put it in me. Look, you have to, since you love spending money this much, you need to learn to earn money. So I learned how to earn money at a very early age. I started learning how to earn money even way back in my secondary school days when I could just do crafts because I'm good in craft. I do craft and share it with classmates who are lazy not to do. They now give me their lunch or they give me their snacks. So I was already earning since I was in primary school. So in secondary school I did the same. In university I did the same. In university I pretty much took care of myself. I took care of my bills because I was doing stuff. So now I've always had it in mind. But after graduation, which is normal university, you want to get a job. I got a job. I worked in a private property management firm that was managing a wonderful portfolio of managed properties in Abuja. I did well. I was doing well, but somehow I had this nag for two things. I want to earn my money. I need my freedom. I hate the office setting. In fact, I worked in a bank for 6 months. I ran away for nothing. I just didn't want the setting. So I don't like office work. I don't want to be fixed in a place, a spot, and say, okay, we're signing documents. And no, I hate it. I love to move around. I love to meet people. I love challenges. I don't like the routinous life. I like life of challenges and new things and all of that. So I resigned my job. I have two things that drives me. The drive for self. I want to be me. Then secondly, for people, for humanity, for the good of community. So I was driven especially from Southern Kaduna because of the things that happen in Southern Kaduna. I'm driven by the need to change Southern Kaduna, which I'm sure we're going to get to. I that's what drove me into what I am doing today. Much of what I'm doing as entrepreneur it's primarily not even about me. It's about people because I need to do things for people. There's this thing they say. practice what you preach. So for me to tell you to be an entrepreneur, I should be able to demonstrate, because example is not one of the way to lead. In fact, it's the only way to lead. Example, you lead by example. So I am practicing this, I am doing this, I am making money from this ventures. So if I'm telling you to go to do this thing too, you should be able to connect to me and relate that, okay, he is doing it and he's telling me to do it, then why not? I should be able to do it because of the vision and the mission that I have to change mindset and get people to do entrepreneurship. So that's the journey so far, and probably because of our time, I wouldn't want to dwell so much on that. But that's pretty much why I got into entrepreneurship. I need to make money. I need to demonstrate that entrepreneurship is working. And of course, I should be able to have live lessons to share with people when I'm teaching them about entrepreneurship.
You lead, you lead, by doing, right? So that is so profound. Will you say entrepreneurship is the definition of the future?
I like that. I don't know if you read any. Maybe probably you read one of my comments or one of my posts somewhere, and that's where you're putting that. All right. There's this thing to say about the youths are the future. And I say the youths are not just the future. Entrepreneurship is also the future. So youth should embrace entrepreneurship so that it can be the true future. All right. So for us to have a guaranteed future, we need to embrace entrepreneurship. The jobs are not there. The jobs are shrinking every other day. Every day you wake up, the jobs are shrinking because population is growing. And I'm sorry to say the system we run here in Nigeria is not even working. We all know it's not working. So jobs are not going to be created. Instead, jobs are going to continue to shrink. Technology is coming in. The world is getting flatter. You can't outsource your employees from India, Italy, America. You don't even need Nigerians to come and sit in a mortar and brick office to work for you. You can hire someone from India. So the jobs are going to continue to shrink due to lack of good governance, one, due to technology, because the world is becoming flatter. So jobs are not going to be there. So entrepreneurship is the future. You have to be entrepreneurial to be able to create a job, first of all, for yourself, then for people around that are going to be benefiting. Then, of course, to change society, change your life, and change people around. So entrepreneurship is the future. Entrepreneurship, I don't see us making any progress in this country, particularly Nigeria and in Africa.
What's the relationship between entrepreneurship and innovation?
To be a good entrepreneur, you have to be innovative. And innovation is not invention per se, because invention is about creating something new, a whole new creation. But innovation is about changing the present use of the use of present stuff, like the present use of things, and finding new use to again systems, existing things. So entrepreneurship can grow, can be beautiful. Let me use beautiful because the women folk like it when you present it beautiful, put a lipstick and a mascara on it. It's beautiful. So entrepreneurship is beautiful when you're innovative. As an entrepreneur, if you're not innovative, you are out of business.
So which is
you have
between entrepreneurship and innovation, which is the foundation? Which one builds on the other?
I want to subscribe to the fact that you have to be innovative enough to be entrepreneurial.
Okay.
You have to be innovative to be entrepreneurial. You need to be innovative to be entrepreneurial. Successful entrepreneurship.
All right. So entrepreneurship actually builds on innovation, right? And I like the fact that you said, innovation, because there are misconceptions when you talk about innovation. People start thinking about Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates and all these sort of people. I like the fact that you You pointed out that innovation does not necessarily have to be invention. Sometimes we kind of conflate the two words. When you say innovation, people are thinking you are bringing something that is novel, something that is totally new, that has not been there. So, based on your understanding, entrepreneurship is actually the definition of the future. Talk to me a little bit about you. You have a program called Entrepreneurship Clinic. What specifically is the vision of the Entrepreneurship Clinic, and the vision and the mission, if you want to talk a little bit about that?
Okay. Yeah, I would love to talk about that. But before I go into that, let me try to shed a little more light about something, about an aspect you mentioned about innovation, invention, and entrepreneurship. Now, invention, let me give you a classical example. Richard Branson of Virgin Group, the Virgin Air, and all of that. He didn't invent aeroplane. He did not invent aeroplane. He's only innovative around the aeroplane invention. Let me take that again. He wasn't there when aeroplanes were invented. He doesn't even. I'm not sure he has idea how to build a plane, but he's
Yes,
capitalizing on the invention.
guess what? Sorry to interject. I just have to say this. Guess the book I'm currently reading. I am currently reading How I Lost My Virginity, Losing My Virginity. So, talking about Richard Branson, that is the book I am currently reading. So it just resonates. I read that whole section about how he started that. So it's interesting that you brought that as an example.
So it's a classical example of innovation and invention. The inventors are not making money. The innovator actually takes it to the market. The inventor brings it to fall and makes it work and stops there. The innovator and entrepreneur takes it from there and take it to the market and make the money. Mm-hmm. The professor in the lab comes up with the vaccine for corona. It ends there. He's not going to make any money from inventing the vaccine for corona. He just stops there. It is we, the entrepreneurs, that will not look at it and say, okay, we're taking it from here and patent it, brand it, package it, and make some millions out of it. That's the difference. That's the classical example of it. Invention stops, innovators, entrepreneurs take it and make money from it. So that's just a clear example. Now, going back to Entrepreneurship Clinic. Entrepreneurship Clinic actually started a long time ago. I had hosted like 3 or 4 seminars, annual seminars in Kafanchan. I'm passionate about Kafanchan. I'm sorry, Southern Kaduna. I'm passionate about this. There's this mentality around Southern Kaduna that we are not business savvy, we are not business oriented. Southern Kaduna people are just laid back. We are civil servants oriented, which is true, because the regular or ordinary or the normal Southern Kaduna youth there just wants to get a job, get salary, get good job, and at the end of the day, serve for a couple of years, then he retires, which is true. Then any other person that doesn't get get a job, goes back to the village and farm, or maybe do other incendiary jobs in townships or in cities. Now we want to change the mentality. We want to change this narrative that Southern Kaduna people are not business savvy. Yes, it's true in the interim, but in the future, we are going to change the story, and we want to do.
You are a little bit freeze. Can you hear me? Hi, Tim. Hello, if you're watching this, I'm still with Tim. I think he's gonna sort out the internet connection stuff, and he will be back.
It's been an entrepreneurship. So
okay,
what we do is to get people. Okay, all right. I think we lost connection.
Yeah, just continue. So you were a little bit freeze. Yeah. Continue, please.
So for the past 3 or 4 years, we've been hosting this seminars annually where we bring in money. We try to put in money over the years so that we can host our youths to come and listen to business ideas, listen to business people talk about business and how to be entrepreneur and how to start businesses. But we've been having very small, rather very minimal attention or rather minimal attendance, which was discouraging. We spend so much money, we even go into debt. In fact, for the past 4 or 5 years, every January, I'm always going into debt because I run into debt trying to raise money to put these seminars together. Now, we run into debt, we spend close to 700 to 800,000 naira every year to put up seminars, and nobody comes. 30 people come and they just listen and just leave. Some of them just want to respect me, some of them know me, so they'll be like, let's go so that Tim will not say he organized and we didn't come. But there are some that sincerely were there. So we bring resource people fully loaded, with ideas and experiences, but nobody's listening. What we did was, instead of us to spend 800,000, 500,000 naira, 1 million naira organizing a one-day event that nobody's attending, why don't we just spread this money into a radio program where we can talk to the same youth who would not hitherto listen to us on a one-day seminar, but listen to us on the radio every day, or rather every week. So we bought a time. We went into the radio, we negotiated, we got 1 hour on the radio airtime, and I put together Entrepreneurship Clinic. And every week, 1 hour is dedicated for Entrepreneurship Clinic, and we talk about business, we take questions, and we educate people. We've been doing that for the past 1 year, 6 months, and it's amazing. It's wonderful. The result, it's something else.
Wow.
It's wow. We have thousands of people following this program, and I have so many of them that are calling every day, and I'm talking to them, and it's beautiful.
All right. A few moments ago, you talk about, leading is by example, is by doing, and that is quite innovative. That you are able to do that, and it's good to get the feedback, to get the responses from people when you are doing something, not just doing something without getting the feedback. Sometimes when you are doing something, you may be wondering how are people receiving this, but it's good that you are getting the feedback, which is great. Moments ago you talked about the youth. You are talking about there are millions of Nigerians that are unemployed. You talked about unemployment, and the statistics are so alarming and also disheartening. Is entrepreneurship the way out for the unemployment plight that we have in Nigeria?
Yes, to a very large extent. Entrepreneurship is the best way out because, like I said earlier, jobs are not going to be created because the government and the system of politics, the system of governance we run in Nigeria is not the type that has this desire to create jobs. Most of our government officials are just interested in politicking, getting money, and getting out. In fact, governance is just another form of business on its own. I'm not going to discuss that. Now, so the only way out is for people to be entrepreneurial, for us to go into entrepreneurship, because first of all, entrepreneurship is about creating a job for you. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you're going to first of all create a job for yourself. Then as your activities and your system grow, you will need 1 or 2 people to join your system so that your system can be better. By joining you, you are creating employment. Those people who depend on your business to do supplies and do deliveries and do sales and market and all of that, and you're creating jobs. So you are beginning to set up like an ecosystem of employment that revolves around you. So every entrepreneur that starts a business is already creating employment. So entrepreneurship is one way out of our quagmire in Nigeria, especially that has to do with unemployment and the youths. So we need to begin to rethink and get these people, or rather get our people informed about entrepreneurship and how to go about it, so that they can first of all create jobs for themselves and create jobs for others. So entrepreneurship is just the way out.
Okay, is it the way out or one of the ways out? You actually use both statements.
Okay. Okay. Seriously, for now in Nigeria, entrepreneurship is just the way out. I don't see any
I would
other
think
way.
so. I would
I
think
don't see
so.
any other
Yeah. Uh, talk to me a little bit about graduates. The Nigerian educational system is something different. It's another topic on its own. But people go into school spending years and what have you, and they come out, they are graduates after the NYSC mandatory service. They come out and they are unemployed, and usually there are these, I will say, quote unquote, unrealistic expectations that government can provide, jobs for everyone. Not even in the most advanced countries in the world do you have, that kind of expectation. There is no government that can provide, job opportunities for everyone, at least not on the not that we have ever seen in the history of the world. Can you talk to me a little bit about that? How can people change this mindset? Of course, I'm not in any way saying that people should not work for the government if they have the opportunity to do so. But, this unrealistic expectation that the government is supposed to give us jobs, to give everyone that goes to university and has a degree or less, the government should give us jobs. What will you say to anyone that is watching this and thinking in that direction?
um well, number one, I'm more of a realist than an idealist. The reality in Nigeria is that the jobs are not there. They are shrinking. I said that earlier. And the few jobs that are there, my brother said they are for sale. Okay? Jobs are for sale. You have 500,000 naira, a million naira. You go to the ministries, you're able to connect to one or two directors, you connect to the syndicates, to the cabal that are selling the jobs. You can buy yourself a job. Now, you could actually find a way to get to a member of the National Assembly, House of Reps, Senate. You could buy yourself a job. I am saying this because I've seen it. I have met people. In fact, I know someone who is actually saving money to buy a job. All right. Having said this, if you are a young graduate that just graduated from university, you're going into a labor market that sells jobs. And if you don't have a million naira to buy a job in Nigeria, I'm sorry for you. You might even have a million naira, but you might not even see the vendor that sells the job. So these jobs are for sale. That's the few ones that are available for the public. Now, the few ones that are not available for the public, which are the creamy jobs in the best parastatals like the CBN, the NMPC, the big jobs, the presidency, you have to have someone, you have to know someone. You have to know someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone that knows someone that knows someone. Like that large network. So you have to know this kind of network for you to get this job. Now, if your father is not a minister that used to know a minister, or is still a minister, or whatever it is, forget about these creamy jobs. Now, the cheap jobs that are out there, like I said earlier, is for sale. Yes. Now, I am saying this with all authority. I know, I don't know who's out there listening or who's seeing me, but I'm saying this. We know this for fact that this is what is obtainable in Nigeria, in this present day Nigeria. So, for the youths out there, if you are just coming out of university, you just graduated, I'm sorry, the jobs are not out there for you. And sadly enough, most of our graduates are half baked in the sense that you went to secondary school. The requirement is for you to pass your secondary school certificate examination. Most of these secondary school certificate examinations are paid for. People buy these results for their kids. They pay money at miracle centers for their kids to get these results. Then they get these results and move to the university. In the university, lecturers collect money from you to pass you At the end of the day, you get a degree that you have bought. And when you finish buying your degree, you now go out there, you now buy yourself a job. And
Uh,
when
that
you
that is interesting. I want you to respond to Jethro Michael. This is what he says. Jethro Michael says entrepreneurship, innovation, these are not found in the Nigerian educational system. How will you respond to that?
Yeah, to a large extent, it's true. To some extent, it's not. Jethro, I beg to disagree, and I would love to agree again. By agreeing, the word entrepreneurship and innovation is actually inculcated in the Nigerian, particularly universities, curriculum, and I think, yeah, let me just use curriculum. Now, I have been to university, my alma mater, Federal University of Technology, Mina, lately, sometime last year, and I met students, and they told me that they now have a course, entrepreneurship, something, studies or something, where they teach them about entrepreneurship. Almost every student in the university must take that course, entrepreneurship. Now, that is that on the paper. But how entrepreneurial is that lessons that they get? Because the same person that I interacted with doesn't even know anything about entrepreneurship, but she has taken two courses on entrepreneurship in the university. But she doesn't know anything. The basics of entrepreneurship, she doesn't. She's a lady. So that's why I want to say I agree and I still disagree. It's there for you to see that you have entrepreneurship in university to take, but when you're done taking the entrepreneurship lessons, you don't have entrepreneurship lessons here. You only have it on your paper that shows you have taken entrepreneurship lessons, which is pretty much what we have on our degrees. Most of the degrees we have are just papers. They are not here.
So is it better to say that entrepreneurship is not actually something that is taught, is something that you learn by experience?
Kumsa, you learn and implement. But when you learn and you do not implement, it stays there as one of those things you've heard. But it is more effective when you learn and you practice. Because
Mhm.
entrepreneurship is not more of a theory, it's more of a lifestyle.
That's true.
It's something you dream it, you sleep it, you wake up and you eat. So that when they wake you up, even in the middle of the night, you are on key and you know what you're saying and you know what you're doing.
I wanted to respond to Ru. She just made a comment. She said entrepreneurship should not only be means and a means to an end. It should be a way of life. It should be an extra source of income. If possible, have multiple streams of income. How will you respond to that? It's not a question, it's just a comment, but if you want to respond to that.
Yes, entrepreneurship should not be a means to an end. It must not necessarily be a means to an end. Underline the word necessarily means to an end. But it could be a means to an end if you're trying to correct some ills in the society. Like I said, it's a means to an end to unemployment in Nigeria. I don't know if I just hit that. In this regard, entrepreneurship is a means to an end if we are trying to end unemployment in Nigeria. But entrepreneurship as it is not a means to an end, it's a lifestyle. It's supposed to be a life that you live so that you are an embodiment of it. As you are living your entrepreneurial life, all the good things are added. The money comes, the fame comes, the reputation comes, the impact on community and society comes, and all the pluses are added to you. So that's about the side of my response to that.
All right. This is what Zugwai says. She says to be entrepreneurial is to thrive. I don't know whether Zugwai is male or female. Sorry. So Zugwai is saying to be entrepreneurial is to survive, grow, and thrive in this our Nigeria of today. I don't know whether you want to respond to that. I think it kind of encapsulates the things that you have been saying.
Yes. Now, in our present day Nigeria, uh, every day, as if the government is interested in increasing fuel prices every day. And we all know the multiple the effect of fuel price hike on everything in Nigeria, from foodstuff, from transportation, and everything. In fact, the whole of our life revolves around the oil price as far as Nigeria is concerned. Now, the government is increasing prices, tariffs on electricity, tariffs on transportation, everything is skyrocketing. The wisest thing to do is to begin to create multiple streams of income. And the only way you can create multiple streams of income to keep up to date is to be entrepreneurial. Your salary, all right. Once upon a time, a bag of rice used to be like far below the minimum wage. The minimum wage is about 30,000 naira now. A minimum wage cannot buy a bag of rice. And soon you will need 2 months' salary on a minimum wage to buy a bag of rice. The way things are going. So, how can you cope? You have to begin to develop all the multiple streams of income for you to be able to keep a breeze and to stay alive in Nigeria. So I want to agree with her that yes, we have to strive, we have to survive. It's about survival, it's about thriving, it's about keeping multiple streams of income and stay afloat as far as Nigeria is concerned.
This is how Jethro responds to your initial response. He said a lot of youths graduate without this experience lifestyle. I think he's referring to entrepreneurship that is needed for the growth and development of Nigeria. Employment is dependent on this entrepreneurship and innovation. And he said I think he's just concurring with, he's just agreeing with what you have said. Still talking about, this youth empowerment in Nigeria. How can the government empower the youth?
First of all, government need to be sincere. Sincerity first. Once you're sincere, once there's sincerity in what government is doing, everything falls in place. Even the youths themselves can come up with ideas on how to be empowered because the youths are smart, they're intelligent. This is one of in fact, in the annals of the history of Nigeria, this is the point where Nigerian youths are the most intelligent, the most smartest. We have the best brains right now in Nigeria. And they have the best of ideas on how to even help themselves and employ them and empower themselves. The government need to be sincere. Are they sincere? I saw a couple of interventions and youth empowerment, youth investments, and all of that just recently after the Endsars crisis and the march and the protest and everything. So government had all these monies and all these things stored away, only waiting for us or the youths to react before they have this money's out there for the youth or anything. Now you need to be very sincere, and when you put out any empowerment initiative, they need to be very sincere on the screening or the selection process. I've seen people who are not worth anything during you win. When some of us sat down, we wrote exams, I got 98%, 97, 98% of the scores myself, but I did not get in because some people are already arranged and gotten sorted out and they're already on the UN. UN is a government initiative. So all I'm trying to say is the bedrock is for us to be sincere. The government needs to be sincere about empowerment as far as youth is concerned. And for the youths, don't keep waiting for the government. Government is not sincere for now until they are, but for now they are not. So while they are not, how can you begin to think outside the box to do something for yourself? Because there are so many problems. See, when I see that there are so many problems and there is so much poverty and there is so much hunger, it tells me one thing. There are so many opportunities. There are so many problems to address. And that is what an entrepreneur seeks to do. Solve problems, innovative way to create solutions to problems. And the more solutions to create, the more money you make, the more attention you attend to yourself, and the more entrepreneurial you are, and the more you can smile to the bank.
You mentioned the Endsars movement. I love to call it movement. You mentioned that just a few minutes ago. Will you say the Endsars movement was a wake-up call for Nigeria and especially for the Nigerian government or to the Nigerian government?
Yes, the Endsars movement was and still is a wake-up call to different strata of the Nigerian setting. From the government, it's a wake-up call for the government to realize that look, the youths are not to be toyed with. The youths are the the bedrock of whatever Nigeria is today, and the youths are the tomorrow of Nigeria. And the youths cannot be undermined. They have the power to organize and to change, to effect a paradigm shift. So that said, another aspect, another perspective to this is that it unfortunately shows the fault lines in the Nigerian system. By fault lines, I mean while the NSAS protest or movement was going on, the political class came in and kind of tried to dissolve the movement by bringing in political elements and thuggery and all of that to diffuse the movement. That tells you how low and how base and how archaic our political thinking is as a country. You know, you are not looking at the good of what the youths are saying, but you're trying to preserve a political system that benefits the political class and is disadvantageous to the youth. It's unfortunate and it's sad. I don't want to look at the religious angle because religion is very sensitive in Nigeria. So I'm not going to talk about that. So it's the End SARS movement is a wake up call for Nigerians, and sincerely, if there is going to be another End SARS organized with identified leadership, I will very much love to see it come again because it's a welcome development.
Yeah, so some of the guests I have brought to the, I will always ask this question about the Endsars movement in one way or another. Some people are of the opinion you just mentioned, organized leadership. I know there has been this debate about, or these debates about, why the Endsars movement. Some argue that on the one hand, why the Endsars movement was successful, quote unquote, was because it lacked, some kind of leadership. It was organic. It was an organic movement. Given the nature of Nigeria, if we had some leaders, probably they would have been bought, so to speak. But I also hear this other argument. People say that, why the Endsars movement did not last is because it lacked, an organized movement, organized leadership, so to speak. I don't know. Do you subscribe to the former or the latter view or opinion?
I I want to controversially subscribe to both.
Okay.
I
How so?
All right. Now this is how so. First of all, that it was organic is good. It came up organically, and it got to the point where it stopped and went down. Um, that shows you how easily we can connect to an ideology of progress, and that was good. But that evolved. That the fact that it evolved organically and without any laid out leadership or identified leadership is another limitation, because soon you cannot organize or have a specific line of action, a specified line of behavior or movement, or kind of like activity are not uniformed in such a way that it will mitigate the activities of all these hoodlums, that people that can actually easily hijack it. So that is the minimum. That's the limitations. But that it has, if you had leadership, you would have been bought. It's quite true. It's possible in Nigeria. This is Nigeria. Anything is possible. I agree. I subscribe to that. But I did it emerged organically was good. So now I mentioned that if it's going to come again, that's what I said. If it's going to come again,
By the
let's
way,
have.
let me interject on that by saying that, are you insinuating that the Endsars movement is practically dead?
No, no, it's not dead. It's not practically dead. That's why I'm trying to emphasize now. If
Okay.
it's coming back again, I didn't say if it's resurrecting because
Because when
I'm
you
very
say,
sure
oh,
it's coming
all
back.
right, I think that
That's the problem.
clarification is good.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if they are coming back, because right now I'm sure it's going to come again. I'm very sure Endsars is going to start all over again. But if at all Endsars is going to come again, why don't we have a clear set leadership so that we can cut off the limitations of the first generation Endsars movement, or rather the early emergence, so that this resuscitation, or rather this re-emergence of Endsars has clear leadership, so that we can now be able to, separate the real Endsars protesters and the thugs on the street, so that we can have a clear leadership that can negotiate with the government. Because whether we like it or not, we need to negotiate with the government, because government is not going to back down, and government is always going to want to have a say. So we need to have a clear leadership that can negotiate with government, which is very key, and that way we can take it to the next level. So that is why
Somebody,
I'm saying
yeah, somebody listening to you may say, well, even without an organized leadership, look at what the government is doing to some of the people that they perceive to be the leaders of the, of the movement. How they have been victimizing lately. I'm not currently in Nigeria, but I follow the news quite a bit. How they have been literally victimizing, arresting some people, or freezing their bank accounts. Have you heard that news? Hello, can you hear me? Hey, Tim, can you hear me?
no, I didn't get that. I actually didn't get that. There was
Oh, all right. There
issues.
was a little, yeah, there. So what I'm saying is, your point. You are emphasizing that we need to have organized leadership, right? But somebody may say, well, we didn't. The Endsars movement did not have organized leaders, but look at how the government is kind of victimizing people that they perceive to be leaders in the movement. So probably the best thing to do is not to have any leaders. Did you get me this time? I'm gonna write that. I'm gonna put that in the comments so that you can see what I'm trying to say. Can you hear me now? All right. Let me just read as he tries to sort out some of the technical glitches. I believe he will be coming back. We're about to wrap it up, but thank you so much for some of you that have been commenting. This is the interview. Today I have Tim Maiyaki. We've been talking about quite a lot of interesting things. And for people that have been commenting, thank you so much. I can see Lara Bass said, well done, Tim. You are driving well. But as for me, entrepreneurship is a source of additional income to the common man in Nigeria, so that he or she can have where to fall and where to fall on when the need arises, so that I will not advise any Nigerian worker to drop his job. The two can run concurrently. I think I agree with that. And I think that is not far from what Tim has been saying. But just relying on entrepreneurship, just relying on government work, without being innovative, without being entrepreneurial is what we have been talking about. That is not very healthy. But thank you so much for your comments, Laraba. Let me see whether I can bring back Tim so that we try to wrap it up. Can you hear me now, Tim?
Yeah, I'm here with you. I can hear you.
All right. So before the technical glitches, I was saying that I was kind of I kind of piggyback on what you said earlier about lack of organized leadership for the Endsars protest. And I said, somebody listening to you may say, well, the Endsars protest did not have any organized leaders or leadership. But in spite of that, you see what the government is currently doing. The government is kind of victimizing some people that they perceive to be the leaders, quote unquote, the freezing of accounts and all kinds of things. I've seen a little bit of that in the news. I don't know how you want to respond to that. Is it not better not to have leaders than to have leaders and leaders that will be victimized by the government?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Talking about victimization by government on.
All right, we are still having some technical glitches there with Tim.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, all right. Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, now talking about victimization of of supposed leaders, even though they are not leaders, because I don't see them as leaders of the movement. They actually lend their voices to the movement, and because they are high profile people, and they are popular and famous, and they are well known, they're influential people, they influenced crowd. So basically, their voices actually resonated during the Endsars protest. But whatever it is that is going on with them, as far as the government is concerned, be it victimization or investigation, as the government make it look, or rather as it is, as it is said, I want to believe that that's the more reason why we should have leaders that will now step up and say, okay, we are taking the position. Whatever it is that is going to come, let us take it. Look, you don't get these things for free. Nobody hands over leadership, or nobody hands over freedom, or nobody hands over a good thing to you for free. You have to be ready to go through it. We should be, I think the youth should be happy that, okay, they are seeing the approach the government, or the government of the day, is taking about this. So if we want to, if for instance they want to have a leadership, the leadership should begin to know that, okay, whatever it is we're going to do, our accounts might be frozen, we might get prosecuted. So what are those things we need to do so that even if our accounts are frozen, it's not going to affect our activity. Even if we are going to be imprisoned or arrested, it's not going to affect the movement. So you begin to innovate. I'm trying to bring entrepreneurship and innovation in now. You begin to innovative way of thinking out of the box, so that the government is already giving you a clue on how they are going to deal with leadership, if at all there's going to be leadership. So they are already telling you, this is us, this is how to preempt us. So the leadership that will emerge should begin to see how they can deal with these problems and work around, even if these problems or these issues come at them, they can always keep their leadership duties going. So that at the end of the day, the Endsars succeeds its goal. Because I know the Endsars has a noble goal. Unfortunately, it was hijacked.
Yeah, so here is Levi Samba, who is a pastor, asking this. I know you do a lot of speaking engagements and sometimes you speak. Pastors invite you to speak in churches on entrepreneurship. So here is a pastor, Levi Samba, who is a faithful follower of this program, asking, he said, please, in what ways can the church help our members to venture into this brilliant concept of entrepreneurship? I think that question is directed to you, not to me. If you want to see.
Yes, yes. Mr. Levi Samba, I'd be very happy to share my wealth of knowledge and experience with the church. I have, like Mr. Said had said earlier, I have been invited to one or two churches. In fact, I have two or three pending invitations that I've not actually given consent to appear in churches during sermons. to actually talk to the congregation on entrepreneurship and business and how they can be self-empowered. Because it's important for us to start talking to the flock in the church on how to be self-empowered and to be better. Because at the end of the day, we have to live better as Christians or as believers. So I am available to be there. It doesn't matter how far it is. I can go as long as my schedules permit. I can come and share my insights with your people, even if it has to be speaking on the church or even seminars or trainings. I'll be very, very much available as long as we come to some understanding on what is workable. So
All
it's
right.
doable. We should do that, yes. I'll encourage
All
you.
right. Thank you so much. Please keep the comments coming. We, in the next few minutes, will be wrapping it up. If you have any specific questions for Tim, we have covered quite a bit in this interaction. You can send your questions. Let me read some of the comments that I put this when we were having technical glitches from Laraba. Laraba was of the opinion that entrepreneurship should only be a source of additional income. I've had this view severally from people that it shouldn't be entrepreneurship as it were, but having a regular job, as it is always said, then entrepreneurship. How do you respond to
that? I almost posted something about this. Actually, I almost asked this question on my Facebook page. I said, have you seen a civil servant or a worker that runs a profitable business? By profitable business, I don't mean just having the structure or the business running, because you can see the business running, activities going on, but when you go to the books are reading negative. No profit is going on, nothing is happening in the books, but in the outlook, there is activity. I have seen some of the people, I've consulted for one or two people who are actually workers. They have their jobs and they have businesses. They're actually just keeping those businesses as a face. The businesses are actually not profitable at all. They are actually losing. They keep taking from their salaries to finance. Now, I am not saying what Laraba is saying is untrue. There may be instances. That was why I was tempted to want to ask if there is any such instance where a civil servant that keeps a job runs a business effectively. Because this entrepreneurship business, it is either you're in it or you're out of it. It's not a part-time thing. It's not a part-time thing. True. It's not a part-time thing. If you want to really do this thing, leave every other thing else. It's just like being a priest. You cannot do the work of a priest or a pastor a part-time. It's either you're fully in it or you're out of it. So entrepreneurship is like that. You're fully in it, no part-time. You can do any other thing part-time. I don't know any other thing. I can't mention other professions, but I know for a fact that business is a life on its own. And you have to be the life of the business so that the business can be alive. So if you're not the life in the business cannot be alive. You can only be pretending to yourself that you are running a business, but you're not running a business. Ask Zuckerberg, ask the big giants if they have part-time jobs while they are being successful. They will tell you no. Their life is Facebook, whatever business they are running. I think that answers it.
Jethro earlier posted this comment about when you were talking about politics. He said the acts of the political class is not strange. It is the usual action of the elderly, I guess, especially when it has to do with something they are not comfortable with. This coming from the younger generation. I have seen this practically in homes. The nucleus of the society. The men at home are not different from those in the political class. Same worldview reigns in both the home and society. I think what Jethro is trying to say is that it is some kind of cultural orientation that we have. So the roots are not just, it's not just about politics, but it's the kind of cultural orientation that we have. And that is why we do this. That is why we are talking, so that we'll have some kind of cultural reorientation about how to go about some of these things. Alex, Alex made a comment here that is a little bit funny. He said, this Nigeria only needs God's intervention. In fact, now I have not eaten and have not been empowered. I don't know whether he means this literally or he's speaking metaphorically. He says one day the youth will be angry with the government, then the Endsars movement will turn to a revolution. I am sorry to hear about your predicaments, Alex. But we are very optimistic. That is why we are having these kinds of discussions. We are not nihilistic or pessimistic about Nigeria. We are optimistic that things are going to change, and this is one of the ways. How can people connect with you, Tim? Even as we try to wrap up, you are doing a lot of things. Aside from the entrepreneurship clinic, you are a speaker. You a coach, and you do a lot of things. How can people get involved with you, especially if they want to connect with you and be part of the many things that you do?
First of all, they can connect through you because
Okay.
yeah, they can, because I'm sure you can always get me wherever I am. You know me to the most remote hole that I can ever find to hide. So you can always dig me out. And then I'm on Facebook, and I'm on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn, and Tim Maiyaki on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and then I am pretty much here. And you can always send me a message, a private message, and I'll always respond to that. And just
Do you have any websites?
no, I don't run a personal website for now. I just have
Okay.
my social media handles. Yes.
And the entrepreneurship clinic, when on it's on Salama FM, right?
Yes.
What
Entrepreneurship
day?
Clinic
Day?
is a live discussion program already.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it
what
comes up
day?
every Tuesday
Okay.
at 10 a.m. At 10 a.m. every Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah,
Every
it comes up
Tuesday.
every
10.
Tuesday at 10 a.m. Yes, on
All right.
Salama Radio 98.1 FM. I think I'll share a link with you because we stream live as
Okay.
well, so that people
Okay.
can follow the conversation from everywhere. Yes,
All
and
right.
yeah, so
That
that
that,
people
that
can
would be
follow.
awesome. If I get the link, I'll put that in the comment section. What are your concluding remarks, especially to the youth in Nigeria and to anyone? We started this conversation taking about 30 minutes of our time to talk about the adversities that you have gone through in life. What can you say to people that may be going through hardships, that may be experiencing pain and adversity and all kinds of difficulties and obstacles? What is your message for those people? And also, what is your message generally to the Nigerian youth, especially that people that are unemployed, that are becoming despondent about the state of our nation?
Conclusively, I want to put it this way: that first of all, you have to you just have to identify who you are supposed to be, your purpose in life, your purpose here on earth, because you're not going to be here forever. What is it you want to achieve right here in life, in this life that God has given you? Now, I have decided and I've discovered my purpose. I want to live my life serving people. I want to touch people. I want to touch the lives of people. I want to change people's lives. I want my life to be a reference point for so many people. And by the grace of God, I'm doing a lot of that. And I have so many people that I've touched their lives through what I do and what I say and things I share. So you don't have to do what I'm doing, but you have to identify something that you are living for. You have to live for something and then die for something. Because if you cannot live for something, if you cannot die for something, you can't live for anything. So you just live for everything. And living for everything means you're living a worthless life. So you must be able to identify something you can die for so that you can live for something, for that thing. So it's very key. Now, talking about adversaries and pains, you've gone through a lot. I'm still going through it. As I'm talking to you right now, when I'm done with this interview, I'm going to go back and cry. I'm going to cry my heart out because why would I want to do that? Because my wife is not here to see me do this interview because she would have been somewhere looking at me and be proud of me. But she's not here. She's not going to see me. So I'm going to cry that she's not going to be here to see me. Now, I'm not saying this to entertain, but I'm trying to tell you this is how I do it. I feel the hurt, so I cry it out. And trust me, when you're hurt, cry it. Feel the pains. There is no such thing as be man about it. It's a lie. It's all fake. Cry, feel the pains, let it flow. Then you heal. Then allow God to take charge and He will heal you. Then for the youth, be positive about your life first. Be positive about yourself. Be positive about everything. Be intentional about your life. Have a mindset that you're going to win. Have a mindset that you can get things done. And believe you me, you're going to get it done. It might be difficult now, but in the future, as you continue to persevere and you continue to push, you're going to get things done. It's not going to be easy in Nigeria, particularly, but it's going to get better, and it can only get better because you're going to make it better. So, in a nutshell, life is good. Live it while you're alive, and leave a good legacy. That is all you can do. A good legacy and a good name is what makes you successful. And that is why whatever it is I do, money doesn't come first. The people, the life of people, and how good people's lives is touched is the first thing that comes. Money comes later, or good things comes later. First of all, be selfless and think about the people and think about humanity. Your life is going to be happy. You're going to have a very happy life. That's about it.
It's been quite interesting having you on this interview. Thank you very much, Tim, for availing yourself to come. You know, I had Tim's name written down long before the adversities that he experienced when I started, thinking about this program. He was one of the first people, but with all the things that happened, I was a little bit hesitant to even talk to him about it. But when I did, he courageously accepted to be part of this program. I really appreciate you. And I thank you so much for your transparency, for your authenticity in talking about all these issues, talking about your pain, which is a private matter that you decided to share with the public. And thank you so much for that authenticity. And please keep the authenticity and also keep the transparency. Those are virtues that cannot be bought in the market. And I appreciate all your frank conversation, all the things that you said about on the various issues that we talked about. And I want to also thank all our viewers, all the people that commented, all the people that followed this interview. I really appreciate you. So thank you so much, Tim. I pray that the Lord will continue to comfort you, that the Lord will continue to strengthen you, that the Lord will continue to make you courageous. For me, just talking with you, it is a testament to what the Lord has been doing in your life, and we'll continue to pray for you. I know I've been praying for you, and I know a lot of people are also praying for you. It is a season in your life. You come stronger. You will come out stronger on the other side. So thank you so much. We'll keep the conversation going behind the scenes. We'll stay in touch. And for all our viewers, I want to just say thank you for those of you that took time to comment on this program. I really appreciate you. If you're watching this after the program, you can still go ahead and comment. I believe Tim will be appreciative to see all your comments. You can share this video. Please go ahead and share this video. You can like it. And in case you haven't followed this page yet, I do this every Saturday and every Sunday. I bring different kinds of guests. This is the 9th episode. And you can also check this page to see other previous interviews. Tomorrow, the same time, I'll be bringing another interesting guest. Watch out for on this page. I'll be posting the flyer for my guest tomorrow shortly. But it's been an interesting time. I pray that you enjoy your weekend until I come your way next time with another interesting episode of the interview. Bye for now.